And speaking of the game's, influences and how it's still, being felt in the industry to this day, I did mention before about how, like, from the ashes of this game's failures, you had entire other games and genres springing up, like Devil May Cry, which came about from Hideki Kamiya's trying to make a version of Resident Evil 4 and being like, this ain't Resident Evil, make your own thing with it, which is funny considering even how more, like, you would look at this and say, like, that's not fucking Resident Evil. It's all third person and shit. And hey, the over-the-shoulder fucking third-person camera thing, you saw that in Batman. Batman did the over-the-shoulder third-person camera. It's weird to go back to fucking games set in third-person back in the day where the camera is pulled all the way back behind them instead of being over-the-shoulder like it is here. Oh, sorry.
Welcome.
But, like, aside from Devil May Cry,
What are you selling?
you had,
Is that all?
Rule of Rose and Haunting Ground and all that.
Thank you. Ah.
But then you also had the, if you spent enough time on the internet, I'm sure, looking up anything about Resident Evil, I'm sure you've heard of the Hookman demo, which was a version of Resident Evil that they were gonna make that was much more traditionally survival horror with a slow pace, kinda like, much more in line with what you'd expect from survival horror, but it seemed like it had more supernatural elements to it. But it still had it had fixed camera angles. Leon had his jacket, and it's called the Hookman demo because of a monster encountered during that demo. That was called Hookman, and it seemed like it was taking the concept of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and really expanding on it. But, like, all we ever saw of that version of Resident Evil 4 was a one little gameplay demo, and then, we never saw anything else, and then the game comes out, and it's this. Kind of nothing like what you would have seen from that video. I take a break to talk about this puzzle, because this puzzle, I think a lot of people don't overthink this puzzle to a ludicrous extent, and it's kind of embarrassing. Because what you're supposed to do is, like, read all these things, and it's like, bread begins the meal of life, so bread is first. A dessert to cherish our remaining years. Meat to savor the time at hand. So bread, meat, dessert, and then one last drink in the bottle brings to bring us to Dust from Hurricane. So a lot of people read that and then go to this, and here's the puzzle, and they think, okay, I gotta shoot the bread first, and then the meat, and then the dessert, and then the wine last. What they don't know is all you have to shoot is the fucking wine. You do not have to shoot anything except for the wine. Mind-twisting puzzles. They think, oh, I gotta shoot them in the order of the fucking thing that you read on there, but no, it's actually way dumber than that. Also, holy shit, fucking trapped in this cage. Oh my god, this fucking, oh my god, this is so kind of difficult. Verily. Oh man, I'm gonna die. Hooray. Drop some grenades. Okay, we gotta get out of this fucking cage. First things first. Holy shit, dude. Did you see that? Oh god. Gonna die. I've been holding on to those green herbs for a while. Oh, come on! Fuck. They're okay. Holy Christ. Oh my god, this guy... Oh my shit! Are you fucking seeing this? No! I don't want to die. How did he fucking follow me like that? That was insane. Like, he was right on my ass. Excuse me, sorry, don't have nothing to do with your bullshit. You can just totally run out of this room, by the way. I'm not as equipped for this as you would hope. Man, look at him just having a fucking spaz attack over there. I just gotta get fucking behind them, and it's so much harder because there's no, like, it's a smaller space. There we go. That's better. Gotta take advantage of his animation. Whew! That's a pretty tough encounter. That one's gonna take you a couple of attempts. Unless you're me. It's weird, like the sequences that I'm much more confident about being able to do, I'm having trouble with and embarrassingly dying when I shouldn't be. But then the sequences that are fucking actually supposed to be pretty tough, I'm having a much easier time with for some reason. Not to jinx it, knock on wood. And that's that. You. Look at how many times it takes to try and get this fucking lock open. And it took an entire mag from my Red 9. An entire fucking clip. Shooting it 15 times. This, like, what do you... It's pretty ridiculous how fucking difficult that sequence is, for, like, no adequate reason. Hold on, did I go through that door earlier? This one? Did I even try? I'm pretty sure you can't. Oh, you can! Fuck, why didn't I do this before? I'm dumb. That's why. That's the answer right there. I just gave it to you. Anyway, the Hookman demo. And a lot of people kind of maligned the fact that we never got the Hookman version of Resident Evil 4. Because, you know, I think to this day a lot of people are still kind of annoyed that this game killed survival horror and isn't a traditional classic Resident Evil kind of game. But they're stupid. This game's great. You can like the classic Resident Evils and this. It's fine. Some people. But what's funny is Shinji Mikami, the genius behind Resident Evil 4 and 2. We'll be coming back here later, but just worth it for the goodies. Yeah, and again, that also is something of a funny testament to how the industry has kind of changed. Is, you know, when you hear, oh, they made an entire Resident Evil 2 and then threw it out and started over from fucking scratch. That's, like, extreme to hear, and you're like, wow, what the fuck? Like, that would never happen nowadays. But at the time, you can still see how that would make sense, because production costs were so much lower back in those days, and they had the engine from Resident Evil 1 already made and everything. It just it doesn't sound as extreme or unbelievable to hear that about Resident Evil 2, like a PlayStation 1 game. This game was a GameCube game made, you know, with much higher production values, clearly. Muere, muere. Fucking chanting. This is why I hate religion. Shut the fuck up, people. Murius Vidiv. Vidiv. Hey, buddy. How you hanging? How you doing, buddy? You doing a good job? Everyone really appreciates what a good job. The funny thing is Shinji Mikami, when Bethesda kind of bought him up, they were like, oh, we got the survival horror guy, the guy who fucking created Resident Evil, make us a survival horror game. And he was like, I kind of don't want to. I kind of don't want to make a survival horror game. And they're like, we fucking paid however much money to get you on fucking staff. You're gonna make us a goddamn survival horror game, you goddamn motherfucker. And he was like, well, what do- oh, Jesus, fuck. Okay, how do I make a survival horror game that I don't want to fucking make? I know, let's take the tattered remains of that version of Resident Evil 4 that we fucking threw out the window, and just do that. And so they took, like, the scraps of fucking, the Hookman demo. Oh, damn it. That was a little bit too early. I knew my timing would be off, trying to kill this thing. Here's a version of the parasite that detaches from the fucking head and comes after you. Not a lot to it, actually. Ah, just missed it. And I don't have any fucking grenades. Wunderbar. Wunderbar. Man, I'm low on health items. And it's funny that they never before did anything with the Hookman demo, considering you had Devil May Cry, which they made from an unused version of Resident Evil 4, and you had Haunting Ground and Rule of Rose, which used assets or abandoned concepts from versions of Resident Evil 4 that they ended up not using. Or art assets that did end up being in Resident Evil 4. Like the dog, for example, which became a huge gameplay feature in Haunting Ground. But they never actually made, like, a game out of the Hookman demo. Which is kind of funny, because that was the one people were super hyped for. So when Shinji Mikami was like, okay, I gotta make a fucking survival horror game, I guess, he was like, drag up that Hookman demo and let's just make a game from that. Like, that's actually make it, like, file the serial numbers off so it's not Resident Evil. Fucking rocket launcher, baby. Alright, I can do this. Let me just move some stuff around. It's not where I prefer to put things, but I had to make room. Gonna want to hold on to this rocket launcher for a spell, for a short while. And it's free, so can't say no to that. And so you had the Evil Within, which was him basically taking, like, what was left over from the Hookman demo from back in the day and making a new game out of it and being like, it's totally not Resident Evil, you guys. Only, unfortunately, ended up being something of a disappointment, because that's what happens when you force a game developer to make a game that he doesn't want to make. You get kind of a half-assed product. But it's still funny that, you know, 10 years later, we kind of sort of got our half-assed version of that Hookman demo for real. And what's even funnier about the Hookman demo is... What can I sell here?
Is that old? Is that old?
About Evil Within.
Thank you.
Is that that game ripped off a lot from... Oh, thank God, the final attaché case. Look at how much extra room you get from that. Look at how much extra room you have. Oh, you have so much extra room. Let's put you here, and you know what? We'll put my healing items where I usually like to put them, and oh yes. Look at how much room we have to work with now. It's fucking beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Oh, no more troubles. No tears. Just dreams now. Look at it. Oh, it's a wonderful gift that we've been bestowed upon.
What are you buying?
I'm gonna go ahead and buy a healing fucking, actually no, for the next upcoming sequence I'm not gonna need any.
What are you buying?
Yeah, I can hold off for a little bit longer here. Thank you, good sir. Your patronage is always valued. Evil Within fucking ripped shit from Last of Us, and Last of Us took so much from fucking Resident Evil 4, so you get this weird, like, incestuous back and forth.
Leon.
Hold on.
I got it.
Now that I have the sample, you serve me no purpose.
Sadler!
My boy Salazar will make sure you follow the same fate.
Why don't you just kill me now? Why don't you just kill me now? Why?
Stay with me, Louis.
I am a researcher, hired by Sadler. He found out what I was up to.
Don't talk.
Here. It should suppress growth of the parasite. The sample. Sadler took it. You have to get it back.
Louis! Louis!
My name's Luis, you fucking American jackass. Aw, I'm sad. I fucking like Luis. He was a great character. Just in terms of visual design, I guess. So again, what the fuck? Why didn't he just kill us right there? He had the capability to. Fuck, Sadler's this fucking bad villain. Holy shit. Luis. Also, look at how even more stupid Sadler is. Ashley is right there. This is the room that Ashley is in. Salazar was being like, oh, she fell into one of our traps. And he didn't know where she was. She's been here all this time. And evidently Salazar has been like, where the fuck is that bitch? Check the cameras. Like, we don't know which of the traps she fell into. We gotta find out and try and track her fucking skinny white ass down. I mean, we want to hold her hostage and everything. Sadler was just here. No reason he could not have killed us, and then jumped down and gotten Ashley, and then all of their plans would have gone off without a fucking hitch. The fucking, like, I miss our fucking village chief, buddy. He knew what was going on. He was on the ball. These guys are fucking chumps. Seriously. Anyway. So this is a fun little sequence. You'll note the dripping contempt in my voice when I say that. Here's what you want to not do. Do not shoot these two first and leave the bottom one until last. Shoot the bottom one first. Because if you shoot the top two first, she will then be able to lean over and put her hands over the bottom one and be like, eh, so you can accidentally shoot her. Because if you shoot her, she dies and you lose.
Talk about near-death experience.
What the fuck are you people talking about? Get out of there! Oh, I'm just gonna stay here and crouch down and be like, oh no, what do I do? Fucking owned. At least there's no dudes coming up here to attack me while I'm doing this. So it's hilarious that fucking Evil Within took things from Last of Us, a game that took things from Resident Evil 4. Like this weird incestuous like game design
The door's locked.
hot potato. And then what's even more hilarious is you had fucking Resident Evil Revelations 2, the second one, not the first game. God damn it, where is she? Thank God. It was super weird I accidentally hit her. Revelations 2 also took things from fucking Last of Us. So there's that funny, like, with the over-the-shoulder, like, third-person style that Last of Us did, that was inspired by the third-person over-the-shoulder style of Resident Evil 4 here. And it had, like, sneak up behind dudes and stealth kill them. And it just had so much stuff that was blatantly from Last of Us, and it's really fucking funny. So here we're playing as Ashley. Look at her go. Look at her little ascot. She has the power of a young girl's ascot. Something that Leon just can't hope to match up to be honest with her. So, and what's funny is I think I'm probably misremembering, but I think there's like a cheat or a glitch you can exploit. Or maybe it's like a gameplay mod somewhere, I might be misremembering, where you can play this sequence with Ashley using the classic fixed camera angles of the classic video game, of the classic Resident Evil games. And I'm sure I'm misremembering that, but I think I've seen a video somewhere of something like that. I forget where necessarily. And in this sequence, instead of picking up Ashley and trying to drag her to an open door, they'll just try and kill her. Because she's alone and defenseless. Let's take our hostage that we are trying to ransom and then send back to her family to wreak havoc with the parasite, and let's just kill her. Right? That makes sense. These fucking goons are not on the ball at all to any degree. What's through here? Oh, we didn't even need to open that door. In fact, we probably shouldn't have. We could have avoided that first guy entirely. Oh, what was that sick dodging skills against my lamp? Facetas. And it's just hilarious how in video games you will have those kind of incestuous design lifting things. Another great example of a series where that happened is Tomb Raider and Uncharted, where Tomb Raider did the, like, Indiana Jones adventuring style, like, world-traveling treasure hunter kind of deal with Lara Croft, and then Uncharted took that same thing and put their spin on it, again ripping things from fucking Resident Evil 4 with the third-person shooter style. Like, Uncharted was basically like Resident Evil 4 mixed with Tomb Raider. And to the point where the first Uncharted was called Dude Raider. It was Tomb Raider with a male protagonist instead of Lara Croft. Like, that really... Oh, this magical flashlight that just suddenly appears in our hands from nowhere. Really, if you go back and look, people were jokingly calling the first Uncharted Dude Raider. It was really funny. And then, lo and behold, they rebooted Tomb Raider with the modern games. I did one of my first Foxeh Let's Plays at the time, was of that new Tomb Raider game. And that ripped off shit from Uncharted. So you had the series that, like, sort of started it, ripping off from the series that ripped it off. More mind-bending puzzles. And then Uncharted 4 came around, and it ripped off things from the Tomb Raider reboot. It's just this complete, incestuous, fucking, like, circling down the drain of things ripping each other off, and it's fucking hilarious how you have that with video games. And it all started here. This is one of the areas that... Oh. Hey, look at this puzzle that idiots constantly fuck up. Look at this sliding puzzle. Oh no, how do I do this? How do I do this puzzle? You will be shocked and amazed how many people get stuck on this fucking puzzle when it is by far what, like, this is just another example of the brain trust puzzles that you will have yourself finding in Resident Evil 4. I actually did this wrong, but... There you go. Super difficult puzzle, you guys. However, are people meant to figure this out? I actually did that backwards. It's much faster to do it rotating around the other way. But oh my gosh, you guys. So hard. Fucking puzzles in survival horror, am I right? What's funny is, again, that is a puzzle that you will see people fucking up, and it's really silly, because it's so fucking ridiculously easy. Am I going the wrong way? I think I am. So shit like that just always cracks me up. Or you have games like, oh, this is just a ripoff of this game, and then it does that ripoff super well, so then the sequel to the game that it ripped off rips off things from the thing that ripped it off. It's just really hilarious, personally. I love that kind of shit in video games. There we go, part 2. Oh, good lord. Good lord. Cheese and crackers. Oh, good lord. Good lord almighty. The fuck out of here. And then, if you're playing this on the New Game Plus, this is one of the things people will exploit the dynamic difficulty to speedrun, because on New Game Plus, you can have a costume where Ashley is dressed in a suit of armor, so she's impenetrable to damage. So you will have people playing this game on New Game Plus with that costume and doing a speed run and intentionally failing these prompts and letting themselves get hit, but she's invulnerable to damage, and letting themselves get hit so that the game will see, like, oh, you got hit there, I'm gonna reduce the difficulty in an upcoming area, and that will make it easier to get through so that they can get through it faster because they're trying to fucking speedrun it. Also, our fucking flashlight disappeared. Out of nowhere and into nowhere. Butler. Oh, poor Butler. Taking responsibility. See, look at all this fucking lore. Aw, buddy. Again, the most inconsistent gestation period in the fucking world. Like, apparently the eggs have already hatched, but we're still not under control. How long does this thing take to hatch? How long does it take to grow? It's been how long? Like, just... If you actually try to keep track, it's a little silly. Reminds me of Alien vs. Predator. How in the original Aliens movies, it takes days upon days for alien parasite to gestate into a chest burster. But in Alien vs. Predator, Like, the instant they wake up from being impregnated, that shit pops out. Super silly. Like, just no consistency to the time frame whatsoever.
Ashley! You did good.
I'm sorry if I was...
Oh, don't worry about it. Come on, let's move on.
You're responsible for fucking Luis's death, and I don't forgive you.